Well, hello folks, and welcome to another video on illegal migrant crises. And on today's video, I kind of decided to collect my thoughts, organize my thoughts, and create highlights of what has been going on since the illegal immigration basically replaced whatever the other things, concerns that they kind of at the national level, the political concerns, and right now sitting as the number one uh, topic on the nation's political agenda. And there's a lot going on, as you all know. We're all watching every day what's going on in all these sanctuary cities, such as New York City and Chicago, and also Texas southern border, and also like kind of all the dynamics, behind what's happening, and not only currently what's going on, and probably what had been in the past uh, happening and going on. It was kind of facilitating what we're witnessing now, as we never witnessed before. This is at the unseen levels what we're witnessing, and that's what I want to kind of touch base. I created highlights of 10 separate highlight points, and I want to kind of touch base and cover those to describe the situation. So I kind of took myself notes here, so I want to also use that. All right. Like I said, I want to start with those highlights, and number one is and this is not by all means any kind of chronological order or any kind of order of significance or importance, just randomly sequenced highlights. Every one of them is as important as the rest of them. So just there is no reason to think that they're kind of going on the order of importance or significance. Okay, number one highlight is the Chinese immigrants, the surge in the Chinese immigrants, especially since October 1st, 2023, which is only last about give and take 4 months. By the end of February this month, it'll be 4 months. 20,000 Chinese immigrants crossed the Mexican border. This number, 20,000, in compared to previous years, is incredible surge because it was usually in less than 1,000. The number 20,000 is not a coincidence. It is a planned number by the Chinese government, that the Chinese government is basically infiltrating these individuals, Chinese individuals. Most of them are young males, almost all of them actually, almost all of them. Young males crossing the border, seeking asylum, and the goal is right now, maybe they're going to be like sleeper cells, but who knows? If there's a war starts with Taiwan, no one can say with any kind of degree of certainty what they will or what they will not do. It is known that these individuals, these guys, are kind of seen around the military installations taking pictures. Well, maybe, they're interested in kind of like touristic travel. Their maybe their personal interest, right? They're taking the pictures of the military installations. Interesting kind of tourism. That was the number one topic. Excuse me. Number two is uh, this whole thing, this whole mess that started. What kind of activities led up to this? What we were witnessing is not something just started happening, although it started last 3 years under the Biden administration. It is the fruition of all the decades-long efforts of democratic establishment. They have been wanting this, and they have been planning on this for decades, at least 2+ decades. And under the Biden administration, those efforts came to fruition. And this was planned to be able to give the boost, the position, the political status, political position of democratic establishment, both in the House and in the Senate, to the degree that they would not be challenged by the Republicans. and therefore they can hijack the national agenda and national interests and align the national interests with their own and those represented by them, by their interests. So again, this is not a coincidence. The illegal immigration mass that we're currently witnessing is an outcome, a product of decades-long democratic efforts. The number three item is the new, very brand new type of crime that we're witnessing in New York City. It is now labeled as migrant crime. It is now labeled officially as migrant crime. The criminal gangs, 100% made up of migrants, illegal, by the way, all of them, and they're forming communities. They're forming allegiances. A lot of them are from Venezuela, and they formed criminal gangs, and they are committing crimes on a daily basis in New York City streets, such as theft ring and other types of crimes. New York City is much, much less safe and secure right now because of what's going on. Jumping to number four highlight. The only humane way to control this illegal immigration, when I'm saying humane, both for the benefit of the innocent illegals, I'm trying to kind of exclude those either criminal gangs or potential terrorists. Among those, we know that people who are innocent and who are innocently trying to cross the border to come to this country to get their share of American dream. Those are the ones I'm talking about as innocent. They are also extremely vulnerable in this whole process. And to protect them, and also obviously and naturally to protect American citizens, the only humane way to stop once and for all this whole mess is simple as applying the laws on the books. We don't need new books, new laws. They apply the existing laws on the books, which is not even enforced remotely by the Biden administration. I want to give a few figures, few facts, associated with this, just to kind of, depict a picture, showing how miserable, how ugly the picture is. According to statistics, number of women that are being raped among those who are crossing the borders illegally, facilitated by Mexican cartel, is about 30%. That's a staggering number. That's a huge number. 1 out of every 3 women is being raped in this effort, during this effort, when they're crossing the border with the help of cartel. Thank you for the help, cartel. And this whole entire uncontrolled border crossing situation is not only bringing illegal immigrants into this country, it is also bringing controlled substances, drugs, such as fentanyl, which is killing tens of thousands of people, American youth, American kids every year, unfortunately. And that is also being pushed by overwhelming the American border authorities and border patrol by sheer volume of illegals, and basically making it a lot easier to cross fentanyl to be distributed into American cities. And again, needless to say, during this situation, during this crossing, human trafficking, sex trafficking is also natural part of this. That's on top of that 30% women are being raped. The actual sex trafficking. A lot of young girls are being, passed through the border to serve the interest of cartel and also the other sex rings globally. The number five uh, highlight is the cost of supporting these illegals in the sanctuary cities such as New York City. It is estimated there that it's going to be costing within the next fiscal years, I think, is $12.5 billion. New York City is going to need this year, 2024, they're going to need $12.5 billion to be able to provide the shelter, food, and healthcare and education to those newcomers. 100% of them are illegal migrants. Um, City Mayor, New York City Mayor Eric Adams explicitly stated that at this rate of the volume, the number of people are being bused on a daily basis to the New York City, the city's resources will be exhausted, and New York City will financially collapse, and also infrastructure-wise, financially, and of course all the other nasty follow-up effects will be experienced by the New Yorkers, such as I just mentioned, the daily basis of gang crime, the migrant crime. Number six, when it comes to asylum applications, as we all know, all those people crossing illegally are filing for asylum. When it comes to asylum applications, approximately speaking, that's an overall number. Excuse me, 90% of all applications are being rejected. Why? Because actual asylum laws are quite rigid and strict and designed to help people, to protect people who are actually being subject to murder, torture, very nasty, like being imprisoned because of their thoughts or what they say, what they write, all those things. But a lot of those people are actually either coming up with phony reasons or straight lies they're coming up with to be able to get asylee status to be granted to them. But the system is screening them well, and 90% of them are being rejected. So now let's see what happens when the person's asylum application gets rejected. That is an automatic removal from the country. That's what it is. The next step is once the person's asylum application gets rejected, that same person is in the removal status. But because of the sheer volume again of applications, which is already way overwhelmed, all the resources, number of immigration attorneys, the court resources, all the other resources, a lot of times, the court dates are given years ahead. So what's happening here is they're given the asylum applicants 150 days or 5 months of a wait period for work permit. A lot of them we know that are working illegally during which time. I mean, how else are they going to support themselves 5 months? And let's say after that, work permit come, okay, they keep working until the court date, and the court date comes and they get rejected. What happens? Now the next step, as I said, is removal, right? But they might be in this country because of the backlog. Maybe for years they've been working in this country now, and they remain in this country illegally. So that is what's happening with asylum process. Realistically speaking, this is by all means not acceptable situation. And Tom Homan, who is currently the in charge of Border Patrol, who worked under 6 different presidents since 1984, starting with Ronald Reagan. He himself stated that the best ever president as far as the immigration policies and border control and border safety was none other than, you guess, President Trump. And all this mess, needless to say, that have been occurring under Biden by design, he says when Trump comes to power, he promises to start national level deportation at epic levels. That is, I repeat, national level deportation at epic levels. Because what good it does if you cannot enforce the laws? The law says you can apply for asylum. If you get rejected, you got to get out of here. But, no one is enforcing these laws. Millions of people remaining in the country illegally. He says, no, we will start, once Trump is in power, national level, which will be unseen level of deportation process. That was a number 6 highlight. Number 7. This one is going to be about the impeachment. When I'm talking about impeachment, again, I'm going to have to, of course, refer to Department of Homeland Security, the president of this organization, the head of this organization, Mayorkas. As you all know, Mayorkas has been impeached because of his constant and huge lies to American people. And he kept saying the border has been safe, border is safe, border will be safe. Yet, well, that safe border produced 9 million almost illegal immigrants, including all the what they call is the apprehensions and gotaways and all those things. That number is actually exceeding 10 million people. With, I think, the last fiscal year they apprehended over 2 million people. If you also include that number, plus the ones that got away, currently in the nation, over 10 million. So, okay, it was a good development. It was a success story that Mayorkas has been impeached. But on top of that, I believe, in my opinion, in my very humble opinion, there is another person that needs to be impeached. That is none other than Joe Biden. Seriously, he must be impeached, trialed, and maybe jailed for his very serious crimes against American people and the nation. Knowingly and willingly, he facilitated and he authorized all the activities leading up today and causing all this huge mess, not only financial and economic terms or in terms of increased levels of crime in those sanctuary cities and as such. On top of all those, the national security has been very seriously compromised. Very seriously compromised, because intelligence agencies are now saying officially that we don't know who we have now, and we captured 400 known terrorists on the terrorist watch list. That number was 11 only during the Trump administration. 11. Today, they captured 400. And what is even more worrisome is they don't even know how many that they were not able to capture, because they don't know who got in. Thanks again to Joe Biden. So this level of brazen and open and mass incredible amount of risk that Biden put the nation at, I think there are enough grounds for him to be impeached and even jailed. One other statistics that I have is during the Trump administration, he reduced illegal crossings by 90%, almost 90%, 85 to 90%, almost. And then the number was standing at the lowest within the past 45 years. Lowest within the past 45 years. And now, needless to say, how big of a huge start that we have. Stark difference. And jumping to number 8 highlight. This one is again on continuing on Biden. And the reason, the motive. What was the motive behind all that? As we mentioned before, it's kind of coinciding with that. It's kind of going along with that. And also, it should be seen within the same perspective as the crimes of Biden against this nation. That he, in order to secure enough voter base to kind of boost the political status of the Democratic establishment within both the Senate and the House, he facilitated this. He was one of the major figures in the entire coordination and engineering and organization of this massive illegal immigration invasion. In other words, invasion of America. Number 9 is another kind of statistics. Again, right now at the border, there are 73 different nationalities are represented. Literally, 4 corners of the world people are coming from. All continents, 73 different nationalities. What is more interesting is this. 71% of all those nationalities, 71% of all those people from those nations are fighting age, military age males. Do you think that is a coincidence? We just mentioned that as a number 1 highlight. I started with the Chinese, and that is also in reference to that again. It is coinciding with that situation. And then again, trying to tie that with the crimes of Biden administration is that this is the case. It's a known situation. There has been a lot of warnings from the intelligence agencies to the administration, to the Biden administration, explaining the situation. Not a single action has been taken. And in this case, Biden knowingly and willingly and happily facilitated this extremely dangerous situation in the name of political gains. And the last, number 10 highlight. That's about the sanctuary cities and their capacity, their crumbling capacities, financially, infrastructure-wise, services-wise, all those under this immense weight of the never-seen-before type of illegal immigration mess. And this is due to solely due to their sanctuary structure. And what is the sanctuary structure? According to the law, the way that sanctuary cities are sanctuary cities is any newcomer, regardless of their legal status, he or she must be given right to shelter, food, health care, and education. And in sanctuary cities, agencies such as ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, they have no right to go and ask. If they do, for instance, let's say they have an individual, they're thinking he's an illegal immigrant. Sanctuary city is under no obligation to give information about this person to agencies such as ICE or FBI, unless this person gets involved in a serious crime. That is, again, the rule, the law written in the sanctuary cities. That what makes them sanctuary, that means a haven, safe haven for these illegal immigrants. Unless they change this law. In fact, Eric Adams, the New York City mayor, was saying that during an interview, and the interviewer was asking this question. You know how dire the situation is. That city is crumbling under this weight. They cannot handle this. And trying to cope with this problem actually the city is exhausting itself. And you know that, everybody knows that. Why are you not taking some action to kind of alleviate, at least help with this problem? Can you not do anything? Isn't there anything that you can do as a mayor of city? And he said, there is nothing I can do legally for as long as the sanctuary status is on New York City. Who gives that status? This status is given by the progressives, liberals, Democrats of that state. Those people in the political powers imposing the New Yorkers, all those taxpayers, to this incredible mess for their political ideologies, none of which are aligned with the people. None of those political ideologies are aligned with American people. So these are the 10 items that I wanted to kind of touch base and mention as highlight of the current situation. But I want to mention something else too. More like kind of a, summary, conclusion, kind of a final commentary on these. It is a known thing that if you look at the history of this nation, and there are lots of statistics and economic research and papers on that you can find, the contribution of immigrants throughout American history is beyond incredible. Immigrant energy brings this country, or actually what makes this country, United States of America, #1 country in the world. This country needs immigrants, and that will keep needing and bringing immigrants going forward. The immigrants, the amount of work they put, the risks they take, the hard work, the goals they set for future, to raise their children and give them a better life, not better than the ones that they had from those countries they're coming from. The taxes they pay. In fact, in 1974, New York City was collapsing, and the boost of immigration rescued the city, New York City, from that position. So I am that aware of the importance and significance of immigration in this nation as myself, and I'm an immigrant. But what I'm talking about here is illegal immigration, and especially the one that immigration process as should be by design a gradual process that both sides can adjust themselves. The nation can adjust itself and kind of accept a certain amount of volume and digest it, and immigrants can also, over time, get assimilated, hence becoming an American. This process is not like that. This is not the regular immigration that this nation witnessed and actually built upon. This is an invasion of America, and those who are solely responsible, this is a crime, and those who are solely responsible with this crime is the Biden administration and Democrats, Democratic establishment, who is in the service of the globalist elite for the New World Order. Now today, Biden, realizing the situation got completely out of control, out of hand, and compromising his political status in the upcoming during the election year for the upcoming election in November. Now today he's saying we came up with the best immigration policy. We're gonna fix this broken immigration system, and we're gonna make our borders safe. This is a flat-out lie, and even worse, making fun of American people, because he is the one who caused this problem, and the same guy who caused this very problem and benefiting from that is saying to American people that we're gonna fix this problem. No one buys this. That's a flat-out lie, and we'll know what's gonna happen to Biden after the election. Bye-bye, Biden. That's what's gonna happen. The only president who can fix this problem is none other than Donald John Trump. That's what the reality is. Well, the funny thing is, the nation is facing a serious national security risks. And the immigration issue, the problem is so big, so out of hand. Both Democrat and Republican voters are now united against this problem. And let's take a look at what the Democratic Party is doing. They're passing in New York State that Attorney General Letitia James assessing $357 million fine for so-called dubious business, real estate business transactions that Trump businesses had. They're still going after Trump instead of trying to resolve this problem. Well, understandably so. They are scared shitless. They see what's happening, they see what's coming, and they're scared shitless. They deserve what they're gonna get. Thank you for watching my video.